I got the chance to experience an event that took place August 3rd through August 5th in 2018. This event was known as BlimeyCon, BlimeyCow's official patron-only annual convention. This was my first year going, so I thought it would be good to document my journey and then analyze this convention as a first-timer. While taking my notes, I was sure to be as unbiased as possible, despite my love for this channel, as to give it a fair chance. Friday was day one of the convention.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It was located at the Capitol Theater, which in and of itself is a positive. Lucky for me, I bumped into a fellow internet friend of mine literally right outside the door, who I didn't even know was gonna be there. Shout out to you, Scott.
Whoa. That's awesome.
When I walked in, there was a line of people also anticipating BlimeyCon. We all got our little gift bags and then went into the main area. The interior was really well set up. Tables weren't too far apart from each other, the room was decently lit, and there was a photo booth off to the left.
Looked like a male model.
The stage had a nice BlimeyCow logo on the screen. The entire atmosphere felt very professional, just like a normal convention. While the venue was nice and all, there was one core aspect that honestly blew my mind. The attendance. Every single person I met there was so polite and so kind and literally got along with everyone there. This includes the internet friends that I met for the first time.
Say something incredibly sad while grinning. Go.
I'm depressed.
100% easy.
The Taylors themselves.
Ethan, I love you, buddy. Thank you for coming all the way to BlimeyCon to hang out with us.
And even the people who I barely even talked to. There was such a wholesome atmosphere that I know is very difficult to create. And this wholesome community would not have been possible if it wasn't for the Taylors. These people are genuinely friendly and have attracted a crowd that is as friendly as they are. They truly have created something special when it comes to everything that they put their hand to, especially this convention. So many connections, friendships, and even relationships have been made thanks to these amazing people. After catching up with my internet friends and still processing the event that was currently happening in front of me, out of nowhere, it went dark. And the BlimeyCon intro video played. This was something that no one saw coming. Literally every single person enjoyed it. Yay! It contained a lot of inside jokes from the patron community, as well as a cover of The Greatest Show by Big Head Kid.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you waited for.
Oh my.
It was a very magical and hilarious experience. The rest of the day included food, team trivia, and hanging out. Friday was the night where they provided food. The meal was barbecue sandwiches, which was provided by Witt's Barbecue. They also had other specific types of bread, such as gluten-free, if anybody was interested in that. I don't have many words on the food, since I'm not a snobby food critic, or any food critic in general. But what I do have to say is, it was pretty good. Team Trivia was all about sharpening our skills about the history of BlimeyCow. It was mostly about certain details in their videos, which I found to be quite enjoyable. I was part of a team called
The Blue Tags.
and although we were a very enthusiastic bunch of weirdos, we got last place. But we still had fun, so it's okay. During the rest of the time, I was building relationship with my litternet friends. Why did I write that? Oh boy. I don't know if I like that now. These include, but are not limited to, Hannah, Scott, Chris, Thad, Danielle, Gabe, Christian, and Christian. Great times were had with all these people, especially on the first day.
BlimeyCon Day 1 2018 Fam Squad.
I honestly have no negatives about the first day whatsoever. It was an amazing introduction to an amazing weekend. Day 2 started with lunch at the Opry Mills Mall, and then we walked over to the Opryland Hotel. I know I've used this word a lot in my videos to attempt to describe something that's phenomenal, but you look at me and tell me it's not beautiful. As you can tell, it's a really fancy and decorative place with plenty of statues and interesting objects. Almost as if it would be the perfect place for a scavenger hunt where you can take certain selfies with the object in the background. That would have been pretty fun for sure. Knowing our luck, we would probably lose, but maybe I'm just being negative.
What? 6th.
For real though, it was a lot of fun. At 4 p.m. we went back to the venue. And this is where my first criticism pops up. The big group photo was scheduled for 5, but they didn't start till half an hour later due to unforeseen tech problems, which set them half an hour off schedule. Trust me, I'm not complaining in the slightest because this gave me more time to hang out with my friends and the tech problems eventually got resolved. I'm just saying it's a thing that occurred. One good thing that did come from that though is that in that span, Scott showed me Duck Game, which was pretty fun.
Oh! Whoa! Duck Game 10 out of 10. Duck Game.
By the way, here's the photo that they took, and in the back there, yeah, that's me. Next on the agenda was the short film contest. Out of all the films that were submitted, which I believe was about 17, Josh chose 10, and we got to see those 10. Each one was so great in its own way, and no two were the same in the slightest. The community then got to vote which movies won in specific categories, which I thought was a great system. My personal favorite was the very last one, titled Notes, which won Best Actor and Best Film. What happened after the film contest was honestly my favorite activity at BlimeyCon. There's a game called Quiplash that's part of the Jackbox Party Pack. In Quiplash, you are given a prompt and then you have to come up with a funny answer to that prompt. Well, they created a live version where they called up 4 people to answer with jokes to Blimey Cow-centered situations. I was literally so excited for this. 1, because I love Quiplash. 2, it was fun coming up with funny answers. And 3, I think I had probably too much coffee because I couldn't stop moving at that point. Whatever the case, I got second place. After being beat at live Quiplash to a girl who claimed to not be funny at all, I had a little time to hang around and chat with some people. The one thing that I noticed at this point was that although there were a bunch of YouTubers there, including the Taylors themselves, it felt like that there were no barriers whatsoever, as if everybody was talking on the same level. I was able to talk to Jordan and Josh with no problem whatsoever, and even had enough confidence to ask them to be in my vlogs.
Are you subscribed right now? Yes, I'm talking to you right there watching this. Are you subscribed?
I didn't feel like I was less than them. From what I remember, they hardly ever used the stage, and were on the floor basically the entire time. I hope that they can keep that atmosphere for years to come. Day 3, 12:30 p.m. Back at the Capitol Theater, lunch was provided again. This time, lunch was a build-your-own sandwich. I do appreciate that they let everybody build their own sandwich instead of making one type of sandwich for everybody, so that way everyone got what they wanted. Another surprise occurred at BlimeyCon, the patrons being in a Blimey Cow video. Josh called everyone over and explained what was happening, so we all got to participate in that, which was really cool. One of the cool things about BlimeyCon is all the free time you get.
Oh, and there's Bagel Gabe too, he's here.
This gives the perfect opportunity to collaborate with your friends that are already there. I did this with Gabe, Hannah, and Danielle, which was quite fun, and I'm so glad we planned it beforehand.
Invent 3 new football rules to make the game more fun. Go.
No spitting, no punching, no being gay.
I know, I can't do it.
Day 4 was the last day of BlimeyCon. This was the day where Josh and Kevin recorded the inner tube in front of a live studio audience.
If anybody has questions for the show, and then if we pick it, you get to be on the show.
To my surprise, your boy made it on the show.
This is not easy to pull off whatsoever, and I think it really helps that you guys are genuinely passionate and genuine people that care about everybody, and I really appreciate that.
I do care about you.
Not everybody, but you.
We also got to see the official Messy Mondays set in person.
Oh yeah, that's right, I remember that. That was cool.
It was a really surreal experience, especially when you've been watching their channel since 2013. I wasn't expecting the sidewalls to be covered, so that was interesting. I'll be honest, saying goodbye was really hard. Not only because of the fact that I have to wait an entire year before I get to see my friends again, but the fact that I still wanted to talk and hang out with the people who brought us all together in the first place. The people who have put literal countless hours not just into their creative work, but into the convention overall, but to ensure that what we experienced for those 4 days was actually worth our time.
Anybody watch Messy Mondays today?
Yeah! Woo! It was pretty edgy.
It was really edgy.
It wasn't easy to accomplish what the Taylors did, and in my book, they succeeded. I'm coming back next year, and I'm planning on bringing a lot of friends with me. I hope this community keeps growing, but I also hope that we keep the wholesome atmosphere. If you haven't yet, please be sure to watch their videos. They're very funny, clean, and always explore a new concept every single week. If you like them as much as I do, which is a lot, you can also support them on Patreon, which is well worth it. I just want to say directly to the Taylors, thank you. Thank you for literally everything you've done and said this weekend. You've impacted so many lives and helped so many people. What you have is special, and I hope you realize that. I support you and everything you do. See you next year. I I didn't have time to analyze every single content creator was there and why you should check out their channels, but honestly, check out the description. I linked to literally everybody at the convention. I hope I didn't forget anybody, because you guys seriously need to check out the stuff that they create. It's really good. Like, even if you don't subscribe, at least check out all the channels. Every single one in the description, please. I support every single one of these content creators in the description right now. Every single one of them. I know this is the part where I'm like, subscribe to me. No, subscribe to them. Subscribe to them. Check out their channels, please. And thank you for making it this far into the video. I know this is a very long video, but I wanted to dive really deep into this concept, and I'm so glad I did. I think it turned out pretty great. Again, check everybody in the description, please. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.